Good evening. It's Saturday, the 24th of January. You're tuned in to our 6 p.m. newscast coming to you from Arirang's news centre in Seoul. It's very good to have you with us. I'm Mark Broome. Our top story this evening, US President Barack Obama says the oppressive North Korean regime's days will be numbered eventually. In an interview live streamed on YouTube, Obama said the cracks will begin to show once information from the outside world seeps in via the internet. Hyun-bin reports.
U.S. President Barack Obama says he believes the regime in North Korea will eventually collapse. In a YouTube interview with a well-known American vlogger, Obama said that, considering North Korea's massive army, as well as its nuclear and missile programs, a policy involving the internet will be more effective in dealing with Pyongyang than any military option. He said the internet will ultimately find its way into North Korea and spread information that will undercut the Kim Jong-un regime.
And it is very hard to sustain that kind of brutal authoritarian regime in this modern world. Over time, you will see a regime like this collapse.
Obama called North Korea the most isolated, sanctioned, and cut-off nation in the world and pointed out its brutal and oppressive structure. He admitted the U.S. has limited capacity to change North Korea through military means, especially considering the effect a military confrontation could have on South Korea.
And we've got an ally of ours, South Korea, right next door, that if there were a war, would be severely affected. So the answer is not going to be a military solution.
Many analysts agree that North Korea has fallen down Washington's priority list in recent years, and the U.S. government has little interest in resuming nuclear talks with Pyongyang in the current climate. Both the U.S. and South Korea have demanded North Korea take concrete steps toward denuclearization before they'll consider returning to the so-called six-party nuclear talks that haven't been held for more than 6 years. Kim Hyun-bin, Arirang News.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has observed a flight combat drill in a move experts say was probably triggered by his frustration over the scattering of anti-Pyongyang leaflets by activists in the south. The North state-run Korean Central News Agency reported on Saturday that Kim watched the fighter and bomber exercises while handing out instructions to the commanders prior to the drill. It did not actually mention when the drill took place, though. The report also slammed the South Korean government for not doing anything to stop activists flying leaflets across the border. And staying with North Korea, the regime has told Russia that Kim Jong-un will go to Moscow in May to attend a ceremony commemorating the 70th anniversary of the Soviet Union's victory over Nazi Germany in World War II. The press office of the Russian presidency told Voice of America that Pyongyang had confirmed that the young leader would be attending. Russia has invited scores of world leaders, including US President Barack Obama, Chinese President Xi Jinping and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe to this ceremony, which was going to take place on May 9th. President Park Geun-hye is still mulling over whether she will go or not. The presidential office of Cheongwadae says it's looking into all options and relevant factors. If President Park does decide to attend, the two Korean leaders could potentially meet face-to-face and exchange words for the first time. South Korea's special forces are currently taking part in an annual winter warfare training session. This exercise aims to instill an extra sense of mental and physical toughness into the troops so they are ready for anything at any time of the year. Connie Kim has more.
A Black Hawk helicopter arrives near enemy territory to drop soldiers on a special defense mission. The troops in full gear, weighing more than 30 kilograms, climb down a rope and quickly move into position. They break through the tightly guarded area, break into the enemy's main facility, and successfully plant a load of explosives. Another unit launches a surprise attack on the enemy camp by making a silent river crossing while immersed in the freezing water. The tough military drill pushes the soldiers to the limit with the aim of preparing them for a similar scenario, or worse, in temperatures of minus 30 degrees Celsius.
Our motto is, if it's impossible, make it possible. We are prepared to achieve any mission, no matter what.
In another scenario, soldiers with rifles ski down a snow-covered mountain and swiftly move into position. The well-trained snipers take aim at an enemy commander and hit their target, even at such a long distance.
With our military spirit, we'll be the strongest soldiers in the world. We are conducting missions as we're actually in battle.
The annual winter military drill will continue until next month. Each unit participates in a 10-day training session meant to test their combat readiness in the grueling winter weather. Connie Kim, Arirang News.
Now, the fertility rate of Korean women between the ages of 25 to 29 has plunged to a worryingly low level. The Korea Institute for Health and Social Affairs says the fertility rate of Korean women in their mid to late 20s was just 1/3 of the level recorded in 1992, and it was already pretty low back then as well. To encourage women to have more babies, the Institute suggests the government provide more childcare support measures and increase welfare benefits. Korea's fertility rate, the average number of children a woman is expected to have in her lifetime, stood at a mere 1.19 in 2013. To give you an idea of how low that is, a nation's fertility rate must hover around 2.1 just in order to maintain the current population. An increasing number of Korean shoppers are shunning local websites and buying directly from non-Korea-based sites, citing lower prices and better all-round convenience. But more shoppers means more complaints, and this has prompted the government to do something to address the situation. Our Jongun reports.
The packages are piling up at this customs warehouse at Incheon International Airport, waiting to be delivered to their Korean buyers. Inside the boxes are foreign goods that local consumers have bought on overseas websites. The number of Koreans making such purchases has skyrocketed in recent years, as buying directly from foreign sites is generally known to be cheaper than buying imports from local merchants due to the cut in retail costs. The volume of direct overseas purchases by Koreans last year amounted to $1.5 billion. That's 55 times greater than the 28 million in purchases by foreign consumers of Korean goods during the same period. This growing gap has also widened Korea's e-commerce trade deficit, which has grown more than 5 times in the last 4 years. But it's the opposite for Korea's offline transactions, which have been posting surplus records. Meanwhile, the growing popularity of shopping on overseas websites has also translated into a growing range of customer complaints, prompting the government to try and tackle the problem.
We are in talks with the UN-affiliated Business Transaction Committee. I think we will come up with proper measures in the near future.
Experts say to boost foreigner spending at online Korean shopping malls, the government must ease regulations on payments and simplify the payment process. 손정인, Arirang News.
The fate of 2 Japanese men held by Islamic State remains unknown at this hour, although there are unconfirmed, and we must stress unconfirmed, reports on Twitter that say they have been executed. In a video that was released earlier this week, the extremist group had demanded $200 million in return for the lives of Kenji Goto Jogo and Haruna Yukawa. The Japanese government has promised not to give up hope until the very end. The 72-hour deadline IS had put on the ransom demand expired about 30 hours ago now. Various news agencies reported that an Islamic State spokesman had told a Japanese broadcaster that a statement would be issued soon, but the group has yet to release anything through its usual channels of communication. No official confirmation of those Twitter rumours either. Watchers say the claims are probably just unconfirmed Twitter chatter. Now, the chief executive of Google has predicted that the internet as we know it today will cease to exist in the future. Speaking at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Eric Schmidt said the internet could become a thing of the past as online connections become ever smarter and personalized thanks to the growth of the Internet of Things. He says there will be so many IP addresses, devices, sensors, things that people wear and interact with, that we won't even sense the internet being around us. Korean tech firms such as Samsung Electronics and LG Electronics have identified the Internet of Things as a game changer and have been pouring tens of millions of dollars into the technology. The United States has been forced to suspend certain counter-terrorism operations with Yemen in the aftermath of the collapse of its government. 3 US officials told Reuters that drone strikes on al-Qaeda militants have been halted, at least temporarily, while they assess the chaotic conditions on the ground. On Friday, White House spokesman Josh Earnest said the US wanted to continue its close counter-terrorism cooperation with Yemen. But with the situation very fluid at the moment, US officials have signalled for the first time a willingness to open talks with the Houthi leaders that toppled the US-backed government this week, despite their suspected ties to Iran. There are mounting fears the Arab world's poorest country could be veering towards a civil war. And before we go, taking a look at the weather here in Korea, and most of the country is under partly cloudy skies this evening. We are going to see temperatures drop to -2 degrees Celsius overnight in Seoul. Sunday is going to be another overcast day across much of the peninsula, with the high topping out at 6 degrees Celsius in the capital, and we could see some light rain in the evening. Now, for those of you watching us overseas, here's the weather in your part of the world. Well, that's all we have for now. Do enjoy the rest of your Saturday, wherever you're watching us, and stay tuned to Arirang TV. We'll be back again with our next newscast at 10 p.m. Korea time. Till then, goodbye.